All right, welcome everybody. This is Dr. Jody Stanislaw, and I have put together a live interview for us today called Living Fearlessly with Diabetes, and I'll introduce Isaac in just a moment. But this is, part of my program that I do in terms of reaching type 1s all around the world. I've had type 1 myself for 40 years, and my goal is to help inspire and educate type 1s all around the world. I walk in your shoes every day. I was diagnosed when I was 7. And so I'm acutely aware of how overwhelming it can be, how frustrating it can be, how lonely it can be. And I'm just here in the world now to make a difference and bring us all together with inspirational events like this. And also, a lot of you on here are part of my Type 1 Diabetes Crew membership program. That is all about giving you the education and inspiration you need to have some of the best blood sugar levels of your life. I'm very aware that most type 1s do not receive the training that is adequate enough to know how to get off the blood sugar roller coaster. That is what my membership program is all about. We do a training video once a week. You can do Q&As every week. And we have a whole supportive community. And I call it the crew because it also is really important to know that when we feel that we're part of a group, we feel less burnout, we feel more inspired, we feel more empowered. And so the crew is a way to connect with other type 1s around the world, as well as get education from me every week on how to get better blood sugar levels. So it's really a win-win in terms of education, community, and inspiration. So today, let's see. I'm just reading in the chat. You're welcome to put any comments or questions in the chat. There's icons on the bottom. If you bring your cursor to the bottom of the screen, you'll see a little chat icon that pops up, and you can just click on that and write any comment or question that you'd like on the chat, which will pop up on the side. So today, I do one guest speaker a month in my program, and today's guest speaker is Isaac Parkinson. Isaac's brother has type 1, and Isaac started a company called Skin Grip. And I believe your tagline is living fearlessly with diabetes. Is that correct, Isaac?
Yeah, it's live fearlessly.
I love it. Okay, so enjoy this interview as we chat with Isaac. And Isaac, I'm so happy that you're here with us today. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thank you, Jody.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was wanting to obviously talk about the topic of living fearlessly with diabetes. But I also think that we should just kind of give you a chance to introduce yourself so everybody knows kind of what your journey's been like. You don't have type 1 yourself, but your brother does. And let us know, what that's like for you as a family member, right? We often forget that our family members are affected by this disease as well. So what is it like for you on this journey of being a loved one of a type 1?
Yeah, so like you said, my name is Isaac Parkinson, and I'm the founder of Skin Grip. And Skin Grip, we make adhesive tapes to help secure CGMs and insulin pumps for those that use them. And our whole goal is to help you live fearlessly by allowing you to worry about one less thing. Right? We know how tough it is living with diabetes, and it's very stressful. And so our goal is to make life just a little bit easier. So my journey in terms of having my brother live with diabetes. So he was diagnosed in 2013, and he was 14 years old. And so at the time, we were totally unaware, and like many other people, we were seeing all these signs happen. We didn't know what was going on with his health, and so we assumed it was maybe the flu or something else like that. And come to find out, he was actually in a really scary range, right, of high blood sugar. And so it was really scary. And like you asked, what is it like living um, with someone that has type 1 diabetes? And, as you mentioned, I don't have it myself, but everyone in my family, had to go through this process of education, as well as just this, process of kind of stepping into the unknown. We didn't know exactly how to help them at first. And it's taken years for us to learn. So, I usually tell people like, my brother, he's a trooper. Now he's in his 20s, and he's doing much better. He knows how to manage his sugars, and he knows how to take care of himself. But I'm often more scared than he is. He's honestly such a strong kid, and he really has worked over the years to improve his A1C. And most of the time, when when I'm with him. I worry more about him than he worries about him, just because he's got things under control. So it's been really interesting, and I would say that we've had to learn so much more than I ever would have imagined.
Well, we care for you so much because when our loved ones are involved and our loved ones care and understand, it really means a lot. I know everybody on this call runs the gamut of having people that maybe are helicopter parents versus like they have no clue even what a high or low means, and everything in
Yeah.
between. So it sounds like you're in the nice balance of, being educated and caring and really up to wanting to make a difference. So, thank you. So tell us, how did this idea so is I mean, to go from seeing your loved one have diabetes to now running a company that supports patients with type 1 living fearlessly. How did that unfold?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. And, at the time, when we started Skin Grip, I was in college, and I've always just been entrepreneurial minded. And so I see the world in the frame of problem and solution. And so one of the problems we were noticing, obviously, in our lives at the time was, my brother was struggling with keeping his sensors on, and we felt that we can make a solution to fix that problem. Now, back in 2014, 15, 16, there were already some adhesive tapes on the market, but the problem with a lot of them that he used was they would come off easily. So, whether that was him living an active lifestyle or even in the shower, he would tend to lose sensors because of water and sweat, and a lot of the things that he was using irritated him. So we personally felt that we could make something that was more focused on performance, that would be strong, and that could really just keep up with an active lifestyle. And so back in 2016, we went all in on this mission of obviously creating an adhesive patch, but also just being much more than that. We wanted to make sure we were giving back to the community. We were donating to type 1 charities, as well as creating a community of people that also wanted to live fearlessly with their diagnosis. So that's been the goal all along, and that mission has just pushed us forward each and every year.
Well, Isaac, I just want to share how you and I actually met. And I simply met Isaac because out of the blue, he sent me an email to thank me for, my contribution to the type 1 diabetes world and asked me if he could send me supplies. And that's how we met. So that's the kind of, heart that obviously you're operating your company from. And I really appreciate that.
Yeah, that's what it's been from day one. And whether it's donating money to charity or donating products to people in need or countries in need, that's why we're here. We've always been really based on our mission.
Beautiful, beautiful. So let's get to the main topic, which is living fearlessly with diabetes. How did you come up with that? I mean, clearly it's kind of obvious, right? Because he's so active. But let's talk about that. What does that mean to you, and what does that mean to your brother?
Yeah, so I think living fearlessly means so many things, and you know, we had a lot of ideas in terms of what we wanted our tagline of our mission to be, right? And we use terms around here like diabetes doesn't define me, and I know there's a lot of common sayings like I'm greater than my highs and lows, and so we took some of those common themes that we had been hearing in the community, as well as things we had been brainstorming ourselves, and we wanted to simplify it into two words. We felt like if we could simplify our mission into two words, then it would be easily understandable and easily repeatable. And so, live fearlessly, we feel like encapsulates everything, right? Living fearlessly means being educated. It means pushing your boundaries. It means really just being comfortable in your own skin, and through that education, through that effort, that you can live a normal life. You can do what anyone else can do, right? And I truly believe that type 1 diabetics are superheroes. I think they can do anything as good or better than anyone that doesn't have diabetes.
We love you.
I've seen too many examples of people doing amazing things living with diabetes, that I
Yes,
can't deny that you know they're
yes.
superheroes.
Beautifully. That's so beautifully said. And this is a message that I carry in my membership program with my private patients, when I'm working with people and doing talks, because life is everything. Life is what we make of it, for sure. And when we are given a challenge, we are forced to rise to the occasion. We're forced to rise above it, right? And there's a book out there written by a 21-year-old with type 1, and it's called I probably won't get it exactly right, but why having a chronic disease is the most powerful thing for having an extraordinary life, right? And every chapter in his book is an adjective that represents us. Empathetic, responsible, critical thinking, prepared, flexible, all of it, health focused, and in tune with your body. And so I love helping people take this lemon and turn it into lemonade, because it's we get the opportunity of people with type 1 to have, I mean, everybody in life has the opportunity to be like, my life is awesome or my life sucks, right? Everybody has that opportunity to see that through whichever lens they choose. And it's super easy to say diabetes sucks, right? It's super easy to say that.
Yeah.
People say, oh, I'm sorry, you have to do this, right? But so it's a even greater challenge for us with type 1 to be like, no, my life is awesome and I'm going to work even harder because I'm going to prove it. So I like to think diabetes can be a gift that automatically forces you to really make that lemonade, even more motivation than the average person, right?
Yeah, I agree. And I don't know half the things that you have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. I only know because, I've seen them, but I've never experienced them. And
Mhm.
so I have so much empathy just, towards what you go through. And I really just, can't imagine. But I have seen that person with my brother that it's turned lemons, into lemonade for sure, no doubt.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love your two words, living fearlessly. So living is probably the core word for me that I
Mhm.
bring to patients, because my passion is how to help you live, which means you kind of want to live a healthy life and you want to know how to be healthy. And my passion is helping everybody really fully understand how to get really good tight control, because I don't think most people get that support from their endocrinologists. So I want to help people to live, to live, which means to live well. Right. So I love your two words, because, and fearlessly definitely embraces that. One of the words I use in my monthly membership program is that we're learning to navigate diabetes, right? We're a crew, we're all in this together, and we're learning to navigate diabetes. Diabetes requires to have courage, right? This fearlessness. It requires courage, because guess what? Every single day, the wind is different. Every single day, if you eat differently every day, you've got to be able to have the courage to know, and education to know how to adjust your dose, right? And okay, now I'm going to go climb a mountain. How am I going to dose differently? Okay, now I just want to sit and have a movie marathon. How am I going to dose differently? I actually want to eat a fudge brownie sundae today. How am I going to dose differently? Right. And so fearless means like you've got to have the courage and the education. So I love that you're all about living fearlessly, because that is, you know, I believe that type 1s do need a lot of motivation and support, right? Because if we didn't have support, it'd be really easy to just feel like we're being drowned in by lemons and no lemonade.
Yeah, you missed the sweet stuff.
Yeah. So tell us about your products. They work on Dexcom and other products, or just Dexcom?
Yeah, no, we have products for all CGMs and insulin pumps. So everything from Dexcom, Abbott, Freestyle Libre, Medtronic Guardians, and Lights, the Omnipod. We have a patch for almost everything. And so no matter what you use, as long as you use a device, we have something for you that'll
Mhm.
help you secure that device
Mhm.
for 7 to 10 days, and that's our goal.
That's great. Do you have products that you can show us that are right in front of you? I forgot to ask you about
Oh
that.
yeah, I actually do. Um, I have I have one right here. It's just a small one.
Yeah, for the freestyle. Yeah.
Yep, yep. So just a small one there. I mean, we have different colors. We have, you know, multicolor packs. We just actually launched a new clear line. So I know a lot of people, again, these are for performance, right? We don't do like all the designs and things like other companies do, but we have different colors and skin tones, and then our clear line just came out, and that's a little more because it's transparent. It's a little more, uh, less like it's less loud, on your arm. You're not,
Yeah.
showing a bright pink, when you're
Yeah.
when you're wearing a t-shirt.
It's interesting because working with type ones, we choose to live, quote, fearlessly in a lot of different ways, right? Some people are fearlessly ex- expressing that they have diabetes to the world, right? And other
Yeah.
people are like, I'm going to courageously take care of this myself, and I don't want a bright pink sticker or
Yeah.
bright pink, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's different. Some like flowers on their patch and some like, a clear or skin, tone and they don't want to be loud about it. So either
Yeah.
way works.
That's great. Well, I thought I'd open it up to some questions here. The topic is about living fearlessly, and I'd love to hear from any of you. What are your thoughts right now in terms of how do you live fearlessly, or how would you like to live more fearlessly? I'm going to open up this to all you have to do is just go to the participants icon, which is at the bottom of your screen, and then the list of your name will show up on the right hand side. And if you go next to your name, there's a little more thing that comes down, and you can click raise hand. Or for those of you that have your camera on, you can just raise your hand. We have about 10 minutes left. And just in a summary, I know some people came on late, some people have to leave early. My passion for us being here today is for you to feel inspired that, as Isaac said, that we are superheroes, right? We're superheroes. The what we have to manage every day, I feel like, is a child that never grows up. The child never grows up, and guess what? She needs, or he needs, attention every day. And I was in Mexico with a girlfriend, and we were sharing a hotel room, and I think I'd probably eaten a whole bunch of nachos that day and maybe had a margarita or something. So guess what? My CGM kept beeping that night. So I kept waking up, and she goes, "Oh, you have to take care of that while you sleep, don't you?" I'm like, yep, I do." It doesn't go away when I fall asleep. Because, it kept waking her up too. I'm like, welcome to my life.
Right?
It's, it is, but it's like a child, right? And people, you allow us to have, one less thing to worry about, right? Our stuff falling off. But it really is like a child, because every mom knows they have to pack the bag, right? You have to pack the bottles, you got to pack the diapers, you got to pack the little thingy that they suck on, the blanket, right? It's just kind of like we have this little child, and we always have to pack our little bag, right? We have to pack our skin grips, our sensors, our glucose tablets, and but I love that you and I exist in the world to help everybody keep staying positive and keep staying motivated. And I honor everybody that's taking the time to be on this call today, because I always call, as some of you that are in my program know, I call whenever we come together and you invest time in being part of a talk like this or the membership program. You're really going to the emotional gym. Isaac, like, we all need to take care of our physical body, and I assume that you and your brother are probably pretty active people, so we all embrace that well. But what about our emotional health? Like, how often do we feel connected? Do we feel supported? Do we feel part of a community? um, that's the emotional gym, right? So I really honor everybody that's taking the time to be in this call today, because clearly my goal is that at the end of the call, you're feeling more inspired. You're feeling like, okay, I'm not alone. I got this. I do feel like a superhero. I am a superhero. Like, I am taking care of this kid all day long. Let's see. Lorna has a comment. Does anyone else find it annoying when other people comment on how big the bag is? Like when you are traveling and have so much diabetes stuff, you nearly have room for underwear. Well, I don't find it annoying. Anytime people ask me, I love educating them on type 1, because people are clueless what we go through. Isaac only knows because your brother, right?
Yeah.
Other, people ask me, they're like, "What do you do? Did you just teach your clients how to eat healthy?" I'm like, "Well, there's a little more involved than that." Like, how would you describe your brother's life with type 1? What do you see him having to, how does he take care of his kid, I should say?
Yeah, and he's not perfect at it, right? I you know I would say that I see him um almost growing up because of his kid, right? Like Over the years, I've seen him go from not being able to manage, simple things in his life like homework to, now because he's managing uh, his diabetes. I mean, he's taking care of homework, school, his job, just in a much more mature way. That for me has been really eye opening. Right? He's almost had to grow up a little bit faster than I would have imagined him growing up.
That's a really good analogy. I mean, I guess it's kind of like if you have a child at 18,
Mhm.
you're suddenly going to become a lot more responsible.
Yeah, yeah, you're probably gonna, not go out and party on the weekends anymore. You're probably gonna, stay home and take care of the kids, and that's, kind of how I've seen him, with living with diabetes.
Yeah, absolutely. I really do think that any chronic disease that people have or any challenges, I've always been a big believer of like, let's use the challenges in our life to grow. I don't know if you guys remember that movie Castaway with Tom Hanks, right? And I felt like there were so many great analogies in that movie for life lessons. And one of my favorites was how he got off the island. I don't know if you guys remember this, was a um, a, a broken apart outhouse had, blown ashore. Who knows how an outhouse got into the ocean, but it must have been on a ship, right? And then who knows? So the outhouse, this broken outhouse, blew up on his island, and he used the outhouse door, the wall and the door, as his sail for his raft. And so here he is using a crapper, using the crapper, right, to liberate him off the island. And I just thought that was such a beautiful analogy of like, how can you use the crap in your life to liberate yourself into another level of experience? And I mean, gosh, I love that movie. I mean, I loved how falling in love with the volleyball, right? Falling in love with Wilson was, to me, another message of like how important connection is for us. How important we all, I mean, I cried when Wilson floated away, right? I was in love with Wilson. I was like, don't go, right? Again, that's why I feel like, opportunities like this, opportunities like this moment for us to connect with each other, it's like our way of connecting with Wilson, if you will. Like we all need that connection, especially with type ones. you know Obviously, Isaac, you're a great support for your brother, but again, it's too bad your brother, I didn't even think about this, wasn't on the call, because right, like, our loved ones love us, but it's different when we actually connect with other type ones. I think that's an essential part of our care. I think it's an essential part of feeling really inspired, and that we're not alone. But I wanted to bring you on today, Isaac, because I am always so moved when our loved ones are so involved that they create a business to help type ones. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, and I think there are more type ones than we, you know, even know. Let me kind of explain this. So when he was diagnosed, we didn't really know anyone with type 1 diabetes. I mean, we had really, talked to about diabetes. But then over the years, we've had other cousins, aunts, uncles be diagnosed with type 1. And it's created kind of this community, right, where we can talk about things. And most of the time, like when I tell people, hey, I am founder of Skin Grip, and here's what we do, they usually say, oh, I'm actually type 1, or oh, my dad's type 1, or someone in my family's type 1, or you know what I mean? And it's amazing how many people are actually affected by type 1.
Yes.
And but I've really learned that, it's a tight community, and I think that as we, instead of being fearful, by letting people know that we have type, you have type 1 or whatever, my brother having type 1, him being more open about it, he's been able to realize that there's so many more people like him that are struggling, the same way, and learning how to manage their diabetes. So uh, I really think the community is there as long as as long as you're willing to look for it and be open to it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that's why I started the membership program. I started doing Facebook Lives when COVID began last year. And I just wanted to be a source of inspiration for people. And I was just doing these little 5-minute videos, and people were like, oh my gosh, your stuff's amazing. I love it. So I thought, well, gosh, I should create my own little like community where I can really, truly educate people. And, Lauren is shaking her head. Lauren is one of our crew members. And
Mhm.
it I have, Lorna's in Scotland, Emma's in the UK, we've got a few people in Australia. I mean, we're everywhere. We're everywhere. And, community is such an essential part of of our care. And but you're right, there's so many people out there that are just kind of doing it on their own. They're afraid to talk about it. They don't want people to know. And my goal is to reach as many people as I can, to inspire them to feel well educated, confident, that they're living fearlessly, they're feeling like they're supported, and doing a great job. And people like you creating a company to help us, people like me creating this educational program to help people. There's a lot of positive out there that when we are lucky enough to find it, really.
Yeah, I love that. What you're doing is, it's really amazing. And really every person's different, the where they live, their culture, their diet and things like that. And so having someone like you who can really guide them
Hmm.
is so helpful. Because there's not a one size fits all type, plan for someone. And I've seen that because like I said, I have my brother, aunts, uncles who live with diabetes, and they're all different, the things they have to do to be able to live fearlessly.
Absolutely. Let's see. Callie made a comment. I think the most quote unusual comment I got once. Someone helping fundraise for diabetes said, "You have diabetes. Get over it." I couldn't believe the comment. Something you never get over. I love the positive feedback with the crew. Choice of words is important. Yes, absolutely. And people are just, I don't know anything about MS, and I don't know anything about heart disease. I don't know anything about lupus. So I don't really expect anybody to understand type 1. When they say things like that, I just see it as ignorance. They don't understand it. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, well, if you had type 1, you probably wouldn't say that. Lorna says, I usually tell them everyone is born with a working pancreas. Only the best manage to overcome it. That is excellent. Excellent. Well, we have, let's see, 10 people on, and some of you I recognize and some of you I don't. Um, Melanie, would you like to say anything? I don't think we've met before. You have to unmute though. Yes, Callie says
I've
sense of humor is important. Yes, Callie, I agree.
Yeah, humor is very important. I'm I've been to a few of your chats lately, and actually, I joined your big. I've done some of your educational videos.
Oh,
Sorry,
great.
uh,
Wonderful.
I've had type 1 for 59 years,
You're a
and
trooper.
I was wanting to I, I get down these days. I'm dealing with complications that could not be avoided because I couldn't had no idea what my blood sugar was for 25 years of being type 1.
Hmm.
They didn't have A1Cs. They didn't have blood glucose monitors. They didn't have, I boiled needles, I mean, there was no way for me to not end up with some complications because we didn't know what we were doing. Um,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
and so I am rather challenged by dealing with the complications, the vision issues mainly. It's really hard to just deal with that when you had to work so hard to just stay alive, but then instead of a reward, you got
Yeah.
issues. So
Well,
so
Melanie,
I've been trying to connect more just to try and stay motivated.
yeah. Yeah. Well, I know everybody would love to give you a big virtual hug right now. We feel
Thank
for you. And
you.
you're right. I mean, we didn't have the tools. We didn't have fast acting insulin. We didn't, I mean, right? You couldn't even test your blood sugar level for the first 10 years, probably 20 years,
No, the first
20,
25 years.
25. Yeah.
I got a blood glucose monitor in 81, and
Yep.
I don't think the first one came out till like 80.
Yep.
So
Right.
I was trying, I was bleeding edge as much as I could be, but I was 29 years old, and I got it when I was 5.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
So that whole time, there was no way to know what was going on.
Mhm. Well, I really commend you for being here and for reaching out. You're obviously not giving up. You're obviously investing in
No,
yourself. You're reaching
no.
out. You're spending time here at our emotional gym, increasing your emotional health by doing what you need to do to be motivated. And I we both have type 1. You've definitely had it for 20 years longer than I have. And how one of the tools that I use to kind of accept that is that I choose to think that, okay, well, I've been given this challenge. And sometimes I choose to feel like I've been honored with the challenge. Like, this is the challenge in life that I've been given. And how can I make the best of it? How can I make the best of it? And I believe that my soul is strong. And I believe everybody with type 1, we have strong souls, or else I believe that we wouldn't have been given this challenge. I choose to believe that. Nobody can prove me right or wrong. It's just a way I choose
Good
to
point.
believe, right? Like, I believe all of us, our souls wanted to have an experience in this lifetime that forced us to grow above and beyond. And especially with your vision stuff, it's another level of being forced to, how can I make the best of this? How can I still enjoy my life? How can I still have my gratitude for what all is working in my body? Right. And it's
Because many of us look so darn healthy. I mean, I've had a doctor say, you are disgustingly healthy, except, oh, by the way, you have type 1.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
well, that's why I'm alive, and that's why I think I'm going to live longer than I I heard somewhere the statistics were that a type 1 is more likely to live longer than a non-type 1, because we have to take care of our bodies. We stay in tune with our bodies. We know what's going on. We don't just kind of just,
That is so well said. That is
yeah,
so well said. Yeah, I
yeah.
can remember, well, even to this day, right? People are eating pizzas and frappuccinos and bagels and ice cream and cookies, and they're like, why wouldn't I? It tastes good. They have
Well, I
no
eat
mix.
all of those things, but boy, I count carbs and I'm careful and I try and make sure to take the insulin long enough before that it all,
That it all works out. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, Pam says virtual hug to Melanie. Pam's been
Thank you.
a T1D for 46 years. She's in Virginia.
Oh,
There's Pam. Hi, Pam.
hi Pam, nice to meet you.
46 years. Lorna says you are amazing. So,
Thank
all
you.
right. Well, I'm glad it's wonderful to meet you, Melanie, for the first time. And Isaac, I can't thank you enough for just being the loving family member that you are and dedicating your time to creating a company that helps all of us. It's just very heartwarming for all of us to see people like you out there in the world. So thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, no problem. Happy to be here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank
So
you.
for any of you that, I think most of you are in the crew, there might be a few of you that aren't. I have a type 1 diabetes crew membership program. It's $47 a month. The value that you will receive is way beyond $47, in my opinion. We have training videos once a week, and we have a community where you can learn from each other. And you also can learn from me directly in our live Q&As. So I will send an email out to everybody with the recording of this event. And if you have questions about the membership program, please just reply to the email and let me know. I actually only open enrollment every few months. So I'll put you on a wait list for now. Enrollment isn't going to be open again until May 15th. I do this so we can welcome all new members at the same time in a kind of fun, celebratory manner. So we don't just kind of have people bumbling in at various times. So enrollment will be in May. And I want to thank you and honor everybody for taking the time to be here to connect, and especially Isaac for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know we've been emailing back and forth for quite a few weeks to find a time that worked for both of us. So I really honor you for taking your time to be here. Pam says, wow, worth every penny. Oh, for the membership program. Thank you, Pam. Lisa says, thank you. Callie says, thank you, Isaac and Dr. Jody. And Lorna says, thank you. So what a wonderful day. What a wonderful time to spend together. I thank all of you. And Isaac, thank you so much.
And thank you all, and keep living fearlessly.
All right. Okay, everybody. Have a great day.
Okay.
Bye-bye.